Dr. Kemi for Kemi Talks Media. It's Sunday, the 13th of July, 2025. Let's talk about the breaking news coming out of Nigeria. We're learning that President Muhammadu Buhari, the former president of Nigeria, has passed away. President Buhari was stated to have died at the age of 82 in London after an illness. Now, the most important thing about this story is that, yes, we have lost a former president, and President Buhari was a dictator. I mean, only you, President Buhari, was the leader of Nigeria when I was 19 in 1983. He was the leader of Nigeria when I was 51 in 2015. And he was also the leader of Nigeria in 2019 when I was 55, 3 times in my lifetime. And that's what you call recycling leaders. Okay, may he rest in peace. I don't think he's going to rest in peace because, my God, President Buhari and my father, the same year. Wow, 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 wow. Freedom, freedom, freedom for Nigeria, freedom for me. Let me say this. They're going to meet each other for the very first time at the gates. Yeah, the gates of hell. Not even heaven. Because I know where my father is going. Buhari is joining him there. I'm just trying not to laugh, but I've laughed. Let me tell you what's going on. There's a lot of things you don't know about Nigeria. And as you know, I'm the only journalist in Nigeria or from Nigeria who's also born to a politician. Okay, now, my father has never met Buhari in his lifetime when he was alive. And he will tell us why. You know, he will say, Buhari, even in Biafra, knowing Obasanjo, working for Obasanjo, he has never set his eyes on Buhari. My father was very, very sad and disgruntled over the takeover of the government when Babangida orchestrated that whole Buhari-Diagmo coup in 1983, taking down Shagari's democracy. So, they arrested all the governors, including my dad as well. They were sleeping on the floor at Panti. Imagine. I haven't told stories, though. At the end of the day, the last time I had this long conversation with my dad after my grandmother's funeral that was like 2013. After the Fidao, the 40-day Fidao and the final burial, we were just talking after the big party in the living room. And these were some of the conversations that came up. My father gave me his own 51 appointments in 60-something years. I wrote them all down. Sadly, the way things ended, those appointments should have been in my father's pamphlet, but I didn't go to the funeral. I boycotted it. My father was a horrible person. And as you can see, I'm telling my stories. And, he will say, why didn't you ever meet Buhari? Daddy, you're in the same party, APC. He just never liked Buhari. Now, my dad was 48, okay? This has been discussed a lot on social media. My father was 48 in 1983, and he was the same age as Buhari when Buhari did the coup and took over. So along the years when he became president, I was wondering why his age was lower than my dad's age. It's called political age, okay? Or Wikipedia age. Daddy was 48 in April, 1983, and Buhari was 48 in December 1983, the same time when the coup happened. So that's that one for age. At this point, Nigerians are all excited that Buhari is gone. I know how it feels because I know how you guys were when Abacha died. But the whole point of it is that Buhari doesn't have much say, right, in Nigeria because he's no longer the president, he's retired, and blah, blah, blah. No, Buhari is still powerful in that mortuary. Oh, God, I'm trying to laugh. Why is he still powerful in that mortuary? That London mortuary. They're supposed to bury him like the next day or the same day, but they're probably going to bring his body home, right? That brings another conversation. A lot of people have been saying Buhari died in 2017, okay? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, bless you in that DSS custody that you're in. You're going to be free soon. Okay, this is one of my requests. My voice doesn't matter in Nigeria. They don't listen to me. And you, the people, are part of that. Okay, in Canada, a whole CBC says Kemi's voice is so powerful in Toronto. I make a difference in other countries, but not in Nigeria. But they all watch my videos. So if you're watching my video, President Tinubu, it is time to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There is no reason why he's still being held. He has had bails, he has had all kinds of stuff, and the judiciary has been compromised, and there's been impunity, and there's been all kinds of stuff that will make us not even have any faith in the Nigerian justice system. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be released now. President Buhari was the one that locked him up in his administration. He also locked up Showore. Showore has been released. He needs to release Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu is not responsible for all the stuff that's going outside that prison at the DSS. There were many things that happened, and the media was coerced. And I don't know what the word is. They were systematically brainwashed. They weren't systematically brainwashed. The media was marketed this story about unknown gunmen, and then they'll say they're IPOB. Half of those unknown gunmen were Fulani militias killing you guys in Southeast. Okay, it wasn't Kanu and it wasn't ESN. I've done this story over and over again. I'm just rehashing it now. Okay, I did videos, I did all kinds of stories, posts, and all that. At the end of the day, what President Buhari did was wrong, because I, for one, saw a lot. And I feel that this whole Ibiomi arrest was not ordinary. God wanted me to see something in Port Harcourt prison. I was arrested 3 times. I was in that prison 3 times, 6 months. There were some people in that prison called the IPOB Boys. These boys, that's the prison name. These boys were just young Ibo boys that went to protest. Okay, at that protest in 2016. Many were killed. Okay, there was a massacre around that whole Onisha Bridge and all that. President Buhari did not want us to file at the ICC for war-related or crimes, genocidal crimes. So he went out there and made friends with the Igbo guy who's one of the judges of the ICC. Yeah, you got to remember, what are we going to remember Buhari for? The genocide with the IPOB, and of course, the genocide with the NYSC students. You guys remember that, right? I can't forget, because most of those children came from our church in Ibadan, St. David's Kudeti. Most of the church members you saw at my dad's funeral in that church, most of them lost their children at the NYSC during the 2011 election, where Buhari stood on top of his car, on top of the sunroof, and was shouting, "Go and kill them, all of them." They went into the hostels of the NYSC. Most of those Yoruba kids were killed. Buhari incited violence. Yes, Buhari apologized when he wanted to become president in 2015. He went to Chatham House. He even did a video. That video, you can see it now on Bashir Ahmad's page, one of his aides. At the end of the day, it is what it is. This man will be remembered for killing so many people, indirectly killing people, locking people up, like Iranian prisons when President Trump decided to bomb that nuclear facility. Some of the doors of those prisons open, people that have been locked up since the 70s. Release Dadiyata, release Nnamdi Kanu, all these missing, locked up for no reason people. President Tinubu, if you want to win 2027, release Kanu and other people. Release them. We're not a dictatorship. We are a democracy. Of course, the Buhari memes are going to be plenty. Okay, so if you want to see all the Buhari memes, come to my Facebook, Kemi Talks. It's all going to be Buhari night tonight. But what do you remember President Buhari for? I remember him for one good thing and one bad thing. The good thing is when he called Nigerian youth lazy youth. Most of you are lazy. You're coming on my page asking me to get you a job. I'm outside Nigeria, struggling in a one-room apartment. No food, no nothing. Running up and down at 60 years old, trying to get something done. Are you asking me for a job? You're lazy. Go and get a job. You know how to make your resume and everything. What else? Nigerian youth, you are lazy. You don't want to work. Everything's Yahoo, Yahoo, Yahoo. Okay? And the rate of internet fraud now, the way the FBI is arresting all of you, needs to stop. The good thing. Was that the good thing? No, yeah, that was the good thing. The bad thing I remember Buhari was, he was a dictator. Okay, one person. Leader of Nigeria. My tweet is going viral now on X. A leader of Nigeria when I was 19, 51, and 55. I need to go get that video. I filmed a kid talking to me from the window when I was in Ajah. The kid said he didn't believe that Buhari can be leader of Nigeria 3 times in my lifetime. And this is why kids have to be taught about recycling leaders. This is a 5-year-old kid. Rest in peace, President Buhari, King B. That was my nickname. You know, we have nicknames in the media for presidents, like Benjamin Netanyahu's BB. Nasingbe of Togo is 666. He was born June 6, 1966. Buhari, King B. Rest in peace to President Buhari. Let me know how you feel about his death in the comments. How did he impact Nigeria? For me, it's a 0. Release the IPOB boys. You trained the Boko Haram